ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ परम पूज्य प्रातः स्मरणीय डॉक्टर निर्मलानंद नाथ जी, परम पूज्य प्रातः स्मरणीय पूज्य स्वामी श्री माधव प्रियदास जी, सुब्रातो जी, सिंगल जी, and children of Bharat Mata who are concerned about Bharat Mata. Namaste to all of you. The problem has been enumerated by both the speakers, Dr. Joshi and our Singalji. But I think we need to pin the cause of this distortion of the history. We need to address the seed, why the history has been distorted. There is a shift, especially in last century, in the mindset of the people. The whole world history is full of aggressions, fighting two kings, conquering the kingdom, establishing their sovereignty. And we have a word Chakravarti Samrat. And India is better in fighting because we thought of fighting heaven also, Our kings have gone to conquer Indra also. The typical story of Ashwamedh Yajna, 100th Yajna comes and like a Hindi movie standard plot, Indra becomes a villain and loots away the horse. It is there. But there is a one paradigm shift, twofold. One very recently and one in a last century. Now you look at this mindset. Nobody is interested in conquering the land. Subjects are liability. Nobody wants the land. Whole Africa is available. Even India can conquer and win over from here. Look at 90s and early part of this new century. The Allied forces attacked Iran. They took over. They attacked Afghanistan. They took over, but returned back. Because the people are liability. Nowadays, the different types of wars are there. New words have come. I would call it economic war. हम हिंदी में पढ़ते हैं रिलायंस का साम्राज्य. साम्राज्य राजाओं का ही था. अदानी का साम्राज्य. There is economic war. And across the globe, there is no foreign policy. Economic policy is foreign policy. Commerce is a foreign policy. India, China and Russia were triangle. But Indian head of the state will sit with the head of the China and head of Russia and head of America. What counts is only economic interest. Ideological interest. In Nehru era, socialist and communist and democrat, those are gone. Whatever may be your ideology, we don't care as long as money is involved. There is no spying. Now spying for economic reasons, not security reasons. There is somewhat, I am not saying that, but new thing has come. So people want to acquire economic ground today, within the country and globally, one. But last century onwards, and it is now also, that is going on is cultural and religious aggressions. There is a tendency to destroy the culture of the country, the religion of the country. And as it was mentioned, the rulers that we had, even after independence, they had no cultural or religious sensitivity. They had no cultural or religious perception at all, for whatever reason. And the laws that were made in this country, maybe because of, it looks like, political compulsion for vote bank issues, they are also discriminating against the majority culture, majority dharma of this country. In the name of protecting minority, they always did injustice to majority. In the process, is a typical human psychology. घर में दो बच्चे होते हैं, the elder one is always told, you are elder, give it to younger. You are elder, give it to younger. Then they start fighting because he feels this is the enemy. And the child develops anger towards the parents. And that anger has come about. And therefore there is a change in rulership. And it was so much of suppression. Once in a meeting, way back in 2010 or 12, Mohanji had very nicely said, अभी देश चल पड़ा है. अगर हम वो लीडरशिप नहीं देंगे तो भी देश चलने वाला है. So there is tremendous pain in majority community, and we have to provide the direction to community. We have to provide right goal to Hindu Dharma. Otherwise, the opportunity may get lost. This religious aggression, this religious and cultural aggression has its seed in the theology of these primarily two aggressive religions. My teacher used to call them aggressive religions. Muslims, let me be open, even though they are recording, and Christians. They think they have to save the world. And my teacher used to tell a beautiful story. This fellow had a pet, a monkey. And he went to see his friend. And his friend, in a typical British house, outside there was a fountain, and in the fountain there were water and the fishes. And since he had to meet his friend inside, he left the monkey outside. When he came back, that fellow came to bid him farewell. He came back and he saw both of them, and the host was shocked. Hey, what did you do? They're all precious fishes in the pond. Monkey took them out and threw them outside. What did you do this? The monkey said, I am saving the fishes. Jesus the Savior is monkey business. We have to tell them, we don't need to be saved. We are not sinners. I am telling you, you are Nitya Shuddhaha. You are Nitya Muktaha. Api chedasi papebhyo sarvebhyo papakrittamaha. Sarvam gnana plavenaiva vrijinam samtarishyasi. Even if you are the greatest sinner, you can go cross over. Atma being Asanga. These two religions thinks they have Asmani mandate and they have to save. I may be wrong and might be hurting it, but I feel they are not religion, but religio-political organizations. So wherever they ruled, they destroyed the history. Because they had political agenda. They had church rule the whole Europe. And they still have political Darul Haram and Darul etc. I don't want to get into this. The bottom line is political agenda. Now this battle, this war, we are thrown into it. This generation, whether you call it fortunate or unfortunate. We are born in an era where there is aggression is taking place. And there are only two means to fight. One is Rajyashrayaha. You need a support of the state. They are powerful because they have support of the state. Those who talk of equality and this Bin Sampradayik and all that, secularism and all that, they are constitutionally religious state. American Constitution writes that we are Christian state. And President Bush and all, even the Donald, can go to church soon after taking the presidential oath or before that. But if Narendra Modi goes, you know how repercussions would be. So they have federal resources. There is a federal budget of Christian states and Muslim states. We Hindus are only the one who are orphan. Billions and billions of dollars. When I started working way back in 2004 and 2006, we had been to state and I got that figure from Home Department, US Home Department, 600 billion were voluntary donations to religion by American citizens. Big, huge fund. And so first we need to have a government which is ours. One, if we want to save our history. Second thing is, every Hindu needs to be a soldier to fight this war. You can't wait till the government becomes ours. I would go to the extra. I have been telling this, even though I am a sannyasi. We are told to fulfill 3 runams. Pitru runa, Rishi runa, and Dev runa. This is to protect our culture, to protect our religion, is modern days our Pitru runam and Rishi runam. On Shraddha Paksha, whether you feed a crow or put water on people tree or not, when you work for Dharma, when you work for culture, you are fulfilling your Pitru runam. You are fulfilling your Rishi runam. And therefore it is a duty, I would call it. Kartavya, Naimittika Kartavyam, that every Hindu should roll up the sleeves with a fire in a belly, has to fight this battle. And let me put it in a plain terms. I am pained to say, way back in 2006 and 7, the data that I got it, I have spent sleepless nights. The picture is very frightening. But at the same time I learned, those days it was so blank, so dark, I can never imagine that there can be Narendra Modi as a Prime Minister in the center and the renaissance can take place. So even if it looks though we have already lost the battle and we are fighting a lost battle, but remember, Bhagavan is with us. His promise is with us. Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. That we let us start with a positive note. I am sure we will succeed. And we need to succeed not for ourselves. World needs Hindu leadership. I am not making this statement out of an emotion outburst. It is well considered, well thought of. I know what Hindu is. I know what Hindu vision is. And therefore I am telling world needs one. To put it in short, all these religion have only one Purushartha. That is, Kama is a goal. There is a promise of pleasure hereafter. When you can't make it here, you try there. And as Puj Swamiji used to say, it is non-verifiable belief, okay? At least we had rishis who had gone to heaven and come back and said, yes, this is there. Why rishis? Our Nachiketa was enough. He went and he could vouch it. But this is all non-verifiable belief that you will get a good dinner over there and you will get those pleasures. And I tell you, I have studied Vedas. Their heaven is nothing before our Swarga. We have better promises for sensual pleasures, and we have better lokas. Above Swarga, it goes up to Brahma lokas. It is only Kama. Even Artha is subservient. Money is subservient. Bottom line is pleasure. When there is these two Purusharthas and the theological thinking, the world is meant for man's consumption. That has caused ecological problems. Whole today's modern ecological problems has root in this wrong thinking that God created man in his image and human being we have a special biological space. We say we don't have a unique biological space. Isha vasyam idam sarvam. Vyomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati, etc. We see this. Hindu child is taught by every Hindu mother. A toddler who doesn't know how to stand on two legs and is pushing itself and sees an ant moving and trying to catch the ant. Hindu mother will say, Beta, paap lagega, usme Bhagwan hai. And their mother will say, Beta, kha jao, khatta lagta hai. That's what their thinking is. They are for consumption. They are not for consumption. Since Artha and Kama is a Purushartha, our Shastras are very clear about it. It will lead to adharma. Today, that we have lost ethics, society is becoming unethical because it is a nature of Artha and Kama. Na Nachiketa, I will not get into my religious exposition. Na vittena tarpaniyo manushya, Nachiketa says this. Vittalabha kadachidapi kasyachitapi truptikaraha na drashta. And about Kama, we have Yayati statement. Najatuh kama kama nam upabhoge na shamyati havisha krishna vartnaiva bhuyeva bhivartate. When these are the two goals, ethics will be sacrificed. We are the only one who say Dharma is a Purusharth. This country is not India. The right word is Aryavrata. Arya is a one who is committed to Dharma. The definition of Arya is not a clan. Pranatyepi swadharmam na parityajanti te aryaha. Even if he or she has to give up his life, will give up, but will commit to Dharma. And therefore Gita begins with the word Dharma kshetre kurukshetra. Idam shariram. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. This is the means for dharma. Dharma Purushartha is a main. And further, Hindu is the only one who says Dharma is also subservient. Moksha is a Purushartha. And it is not something which Vedas has put in. It is something which every human being wants. We are not implanting a goal that go to heaven. We are saying, Vedas says, look at it, what do you want? Each one is seeking freedom. That is moksha. In a simple terms, if I tell this, moksha means purna sukham. Niratishay sukham. What a famous ashtakam is there. Chidananda rupaha shivam. That is what we want. Who doesn't want it? That's what. And the last thing is, our Veda says, you are Ananda. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to change anything. Whatever you are, wherever you are, whoever you are Ananda. That's what makes it Sanatana. That's why even Christians who come here, Muslims hardly come, but so many Christians come to India and study from Swamis. Swamis don't ask them to change the religion because it is knowledge-based tradition. And when you are knowledge-based tradition, you are sarva samavesh. This word I don't accept. Pardon me for saying this. Hindus are tolerant. We are not tolerant. We should have courage and strength to fight it. Why should I tolerate you? Since we are knowledge-based tradition, we accept everybody. This is not, we had told, we respect your opinion. And therefore everything works here. And world today, for world peace, you need Hindu Dharma. Out of this concept of exclusivity, my God is the only God, and your other gods are not gods. This statement itself is self-contradictory. If your God is the only God, where are other gods? The statement to say that. And Puj Swamiji had told in Millennium Summit, very loaded statement, we don't say there is one God, we say everything is God. Understand? Everything is God, and therefore this whole perception, I really get hurt when the newspaper guys write, India is a big market. I am a commodity or what? I am not market. The world is looked upon as an economic perspective. For us, everything is pavitra. Everything is pious because it is Ishvara. Such a great vision we have to bring out a soldier in every citizen. The whole problem is creating awareness. Unfortunately, we and you, doctor, grew up in a time where we were indoctrinated from Mughal history. I remember it was the most boring and disliked subject, for me at least. When they say, this was the question they asked, when was Babur born? When Humayun died? As a child I used to think, काश वो पैदा ही नहीं हुआ होता. बाबर ने पहला पांव भारत में कहाँ रखा? तब मुझे आता था किसी ने पांव क्यों नहीं तोड़ा. I used to get angry upon it. I don't like to, even if it is bad, I don't want to know that. I want to see my bright future. Why should I talk about the black things? But that's what we learn. I never thought of it. But somehow that awareness has been created, and I have a few humble suggestions how to go about. Yesterday I told them, today, facts does not make perception. Sometimes perceptions creates facts. Classic example. For 2000 years, Pope the Benedict apologized recently 2000 years they created a perception that Jews killed Jesus. And it was one of the reasons why that Hitler had this thinking. Royal blood and kill the Jews, etc. They are now apologized, but they made a perception. And why go beyond? They made a perception about Narendra Modi, anti-Muslim, the killer, etc. You can create. And that is the very strong media is social media today. Unfortunately, with the advent of social media, every individual, our Singalji has been telling his wife comes from media group. She has not come, I think. I've been looking for her. She is not. She comes from social media. His father-in-law is a print owner of a print newspaper, very prominent newspaper in UP. I have read quite often as authentic newspaper. Now every individual is a publisher, editor, financier of news. And they create opinion through social media. And as they say in Gujarati, Durjano, I'll just translate in Hindi, Durjano ki sakriyata se zyada, Sajjano ki nishkriyata zimmevar. We have to use social media aggressively to create factual perception. It is a created perception. One thing. Secondly, our Madhav Paridasji knows more about it, and he will talk about it. This new education policy. Yesterday, as I mentioned, NEP has so much of elbow rooms to introduce whatever you want to introduce in curriculum. At least we can start with it. We may have a syllabus from KG to at least 12th grade. History is taught. More than government schools, there are so many private schools in India. And these children who study in these elite schools, they become opinion makers, decision makers in future. This group can create a syllabus, textbook, with periods, 40 periods per annum they have, gradual syllabus, and we can offer them to our institutions. We can have a team, go across every state, every district, every taluk has so many schools. We can introduce and create right kind of awareness. So much so, Sangh is working. Now this UGC is going to recognize the course in Hinduism. Few universities in Gujarat have been starting. And across the India also they are starting Hinduism and history. We can pitch in if we have enough data, and I'm sure they also have a lot of data. We can pitch in and do the things with that. And last but not the least, the world always exploits the weaker. Wherever you are, the weaker one gets beating. We have to be strong, both economically and in terms of resolve. And with this, the song that children sing in the school, Hum honge kamyab ek din. Hum honge kamyab. To give a guidance to the world, we can create new awareness about what Hindu is, Hindu Dharma is. The world is suffering. Before the advent of these two aggressive religions, which believes in proselytization, which thinks that our God only can save, there were religions across the world. And still there are groups. Way back in 2001, we had a conference in Delhi itself. Puj Swamiji and Bajpayee had this really preservation of culture and religion. They are also wanting a leadership. We can provide that leadership, and an event is also coming in. We have to target primarily the modern youth. Whatever may be the fact, whatever is glory we have about the past, but this soft power which we overlooked. I'll tell you one example. Yoga is India's soft power today. Even Chinese premier feels proud that so many citizens of my country did yoga. We can create soft power. Slowly, meditation is becoming soft power. When something becomes popular, the fake also pitch in. So many people are fake. Swamis and teachers, yoga, meditation teachers. Like that, our spirituality, our heritage, the dance, Ayurveda, etc. can become soft power where we don't need government. McDonald's is American soft power. Jeans, cowboy jeans is American soft power. We can create that soft power, and I think once we create, it is easy to get the government on board. Because officially being a secular state, that's the irony of the country. In India, only one thing is secular, that is government. Everybody is religious. Even Laluji used to perform yagnas, I know that. The Brahmanas who used to go to him. So everybody is religion. Hindu's DNA is religious. But that constitutional limitation is there. But once we have this praja, means opinion with us, so power, I am sure government will be with us on board and we can strategize it. And I am really happy to be here to meet such erudite scholars today here who are committed, more so the Singalji, Acharya, and on behalf of Acharya Sabha and to both of you, we are with you. Let us join hands and do some strategic planning. Today it is equally important because the world has become a global village. A new word has come in corporate world from 90s. In this global village, nobody is an island to take its call. No country can take its own calls. It's a global village, so we have to create a perception. Like the justice, it is not enough that the justice is done, it should be seen as done. So we have to create that, and for that we need a strategy. I am sure his contacts and his commitments would be a great help to Acharya Sabha to develop a strategy and develop the plan for work ahead. With these words, thank you to all of you. Namaste.